welcome to Accountability is Trending. I'm Jim Johnson, and I'm your guest host today. And today we're going to be doing something a little different and interviewing Tina Johnson, my wife, who's actually running for Senate District 15 in Uintah County. You probably know Tina from different businesses she's managed and different things she's done in the community. She's been in all the parades and community events. And so you've heard different things and different pieces, parts and pieces about what she wants to do as your new senator. So we thought we'd have this podcast and get her on here and ask her some questions so that you can get to know her better. Welcome, Tina.
I thank you so much. This is what it took for us to do a podcast together, so I'm very excited about that.
Well, let's just dive right into it and just ask you the first question is why are you running?
So, as you know, I'm not a politician, and politics was never going to be my plan. But throughout the things that have happened in the last 10 years, from things to do with the election, things to do with COVID, I started getting more involved in government, watching how things were running. We got involved in the Republican Party, started attending the meetings right about the time that the lawsuit happened. Is when we really started getting involved, watching things. Um, Started watching things about education, school board meetings, was interested in election integrity and local government, mostly the Republican Party. We started watching, learning, researching, and the more that I watched, the more concerned I got. We noticed that so many decisions were being made that many people in the public did not know were happening. The latest one, and they say that there was full disclosure and that everybody knew, but was definitely the data center and the workforce hub. So
So what would you say qualifies you to be a senator?
So I have been working and managing businesses for the last 25 years. I started out at Travel Centers of America, worked my way up to general manager, and then worked at KFC Taco Bell for 15 years. I've been working with people, solving problems, managing budgets, making difficult decisions, overseeing different projects. Those experiences taught me that every dollar matters and every customer. So, as a senator, when I used to tell my employees that if it isn't all about the customer, it just doesn't matter. And to me, if it isn't all about the people, it just doesn't matter. So, government should treat the taxpayers and the people that very same way. That's my philosophy.
Okay. Well, let's get into one of the hot topics that always seems to dominate any election cycle, and that's taxes. Give me your view on taxes, property taxes, and just your general idea of what we should do with those.
And I think taxes have become very weaponized. I think that there has to be a balance. I believe that I don't want to see grandma kicked out of her house because she's paid off her house, but yet she can't pay her property taxes. But I realize how important the fire department, emergency services, police departments, I know how important they are. So they need to be funded and they should be one of the first priorities. But there has to be a balance. And when it comes to the workers, as an employee, I would work 60 to 70 hours a week, and a huge portion of that, 23 to 25% of every dollar I made, goes to income taxes. Then you've got your gas tax and your property tax. There has to be a balance. There has to be a way to um, make essential services priority, but still be fair to the taxpayers.
Just looking at some of your campaign brochures and stuff, and one thing that you keep that you see a lot is the words transparency and accountability. Maybe you can explain to everybody what you mean by those.
So when it comes to transparency, one of the things that we learned, especially trying to get involved with the school board, um, there's a lot of school board meetings that are not streamed. The county commissioner meeting is not streamed, economic development. So there's a lot of decisions being made for Uintah County citizens that the UNA County citizens don't know is happening. So I think that when it comes to transparency, making sure that the people have the access to the information that is going to determine their economy, their pretty much the future of UNA County is at stake. And then when it comes to accountability, it seems like a lot of things can happen, but there is no accountability for actions. I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Um, so I know one of your biggest passions and one of the things that you really champion is education and parental rights. You want to go into some of those issues?
Yeah, and so with my job, I have been I've worked with teenagers for about 25 years. Most kids start their work careers in restaurants, in local businesses, and fast food is on just about everybody's resume as a first job. So I take that role pretty serious. But we've been noticing the decline when it came to them filling out their paperwork or them being able to read the handbook or just small things that really concerned me. And one of the things is like cursive writing. They took it out of schools, so kids are not learning it, but the older generation has to actually not write it to communicate with the younger generation. So I feel like it's kind of dumbing down society by taking these things out of education, such as phonics. Phonics was taken out of education. People were using whole word recognition, and that's become a problem in society, but also in future education, um, in college, in universities. We got involved. I tried running for school board, was almost successful. I feel like we ran pretty good campaign. And then Moms for Liberty, which really focuses on parental rights and that parents are the ultimate authority on anything to do with their child in education.
Okay, well, let's go on to so economic development is a big issue in Uena County, and we hear about the data centers, the large industrial projects, workforce housing, and the government incentives. And some people have heard your criticism on these and think that you're maybe against the economic development. Um, kind of give us your opinion on economic development and what role government really should be playing in providing that service.
So I believe in responsible economic development. I believe in small businesses, and I believe that, like Bob Wharf says, small businesses are the backbone of America. And I believe that. Um, I believe that there should be a level playing field. Um, I want real economic development happens when people are allowed to invest their own money, build businesses, invest their own money, hire their own employees. They direct payroll. Those decisions directly affect revenues and losses. They learn from their mistakes as business owners. Um, but I don't think that the role of government is to pick winners and losers. Government's job should be to create the environment where businesses survive and thrive, not to pick the winners and the losers.
So, how would you kind of summarize your economic philosophy?
So I want Wyoming to be the easiest place in America to start a business. I want government to clear the road, not choose the cars. Economic freedom, lower overall tax burdens, the affordable energy, private investment, transparency, and a level playing field.
Right. So, I know when you started your campaign, the initial thought was that you were going to run as a conservative, and that word has kind of been co-opted, and everybody's conservative now. And so, I know you made the decision to run as a platform Republican. Um, can you kind of explain what that means to the people and what your philosophy on what it is to be a platform Republican?
Yeah, so I think there's some confusion there between the Freedom Caucus and the Republican Party. The Freedom Caucus is just about 17 legislators, but they support the Republican platform. To be a Republican is protecting life, and that's life from conception to natural death. That is defending the Second Amendment, the right to protect yourself, supporting parental rights in all things, supporting health freedom, protecting constitutional rights, and keeping government accountable to the people. There are other planks, but those are some of the most important to me. I agree with almost all 23 planks without fail.
What would you like people to get to know about the Tina that I'm married instead of Tina the candidate?
I want people to know that I'm a fighter. When I believe that something is right, that I will go to the mat to defend it. I think that we are at a critical moment in history. I think that we are at a fork in the road for two very different futures. I want people to know that they can trust that I will do what I say and that I will represent them in the way that I have portrayed that I will.
If someone can only remember just one thing about this podcast and conversation and stuff, what would you want their one big takeaway to be?
That at the end of the day, that we are at a critical period in time and that I want to fight for the people. I believe that people are the future. I believe that people are the plan. I believe that we need everybody to step up and um, it's time to take back our state.
All right. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, um, talk to you personally, how can they reach you? Where can they get more information?
So my website is tina4yo.com. My email is Tina Johnson, the number 4 Senate at protonmail.com. And then my phone number is 307-780-5150.
All
And you can
right.
email
Well,
or call me at any time.
perfect. Well, I think that kind of winds down the conversation. I know you guys wanted me to keep it semi short so people would watch the whole thing. Um, so I did enjoy today's conversation. I will remind everybody that watches this and listens to it to like, share, and subscribe. That's unfortunately we're a little some of the platforms are a little picky about who they let on and who they show and stuff like that. So that's real important. If for no other reason, give people an opportunity to get to know you a little better, know where you stand, and know how to get a hold of you. So that's it for me.